Craig at Help Incorporated with an instructional video on how to archive video footage on an Intellex DVMS. Basically, when you are on the main screen here, your live viewing screen, I only have one camera hooked up, so I'm only showing one camera, but I can click on that to show up full screen. Basically what happens is you have your transport controls underneath here. At any one time you can hit the playback button by hitting the little triangle here, which brings you into playback mode. And down here you have what they call the video scrub bar. You can move that to any point in time, and if you notice the time is changing up in here. If you had lots of footage on there, many days, you would also be changing the date. This is the entire database of time in here. So you can actually move this to any point that you want to. If you find that this is the starting point that you want to use for exporting a video, you would hit the left flag button. It highlights yellow. And then you can move the scrub bar to the time that you say, okay, this is where I want to stop the video. So I would hit the right flag button, and now the export light lights up. You would then hit the export button, and it actually would take you to that area for playback. You can actually play back that footage, those two flags that you start and stop video on. It actually tells you over here the actual file size of the video that you want. And you can also check off more cameras. If you want more than one camera to be archived, you would just put checkboxes next to the cameras here. I didn't have any other cameras, so it's not going to have any effect on what I'm exporting off. You can then hit the export button, and what it's going to do is take you to this little directory here. You can have two options. You always need to include the player application on export media. You cannot play back this file on just a standard Windows computer. It has to be played back through this player application so that the footage cannot be altered. But you have two options. Either you can archive it to a thumb drive. If you plugged one in ahead of time, it would show up in the list here. If I go to Browse, it shows that I have a G drive in there, and then I would create a folder ahead of time on a regular Windows computer of a folder that you may want to dump the video into. I have an archive folder here that I could dump the video into. I would just hit select, and it would dump to that folder. If I want to dump footage off onto a CD in the unit, you can just hit the export to CD-RW here. But what I would recommend is using CD-Rs, not CD-RWs, because RWs you would have to make sure that they're formatted properly before you can use them in the machine, and it's a little bit slower of an archive process. But for our usage here, I'm going to export to that thumb drive. I would then click on the export button, and such as it's a small file, so it immediately came up, went through here, and shows that the export was completed. And then, would you like to delete the exported clips from the clip list? You can say yes if you don't need to archive those ever again. It doesn't delete the footage off of the hard drive, just out of the clip list itself. So you can say yes, and then come down here to the close button, and it takes you back to your live footage again. That's it. The other option you have for recording footage off on an Intellex unit is you can use the search feature. The search feature, when you click on that button here, can bring up date and time of when certain motion events happened. You can tailor it to the exact, you can say images between certain date and time, images within the last hour. Depends on how you want to do it. You can filter it by hitting the find button, and it will search the entire database. Right now I don't have anything on this other than this one camera, so it doesn't have much footage, but you would see an entire list of clips of when motion occurred, and you can go back and you can play those clips if you want to. So if I hit play now, it takes me back to that main screen again for the playback of the footage for that specific time frame. And again, you have the flags on the left and the right. You would hit a start point, a stop point, and then export it. Just another way of being able to get the footage off to do that. That's it.